ये लैपटॉप के कैमरा में मैं बराबर नहीं दिख रहा हूँ. All right. So, hello friends, both on YouTube and Instagram. If you can see me in this live stream, hello to one and all. Um, yes. So I am back with one more live session. Thank you for sharing all that love. And the objective of this session again is to answer your questions of life and your confusions and problems of life as well. So, yeah, let's bring it on. Welcome people on Instagram, which is Gaurav, Aman, Karan. You can start asking any questions if you have friends. This question is to answer all your questions and confusions of life. So, yeah, feel free to ask any and every question that you might have. Okay. And interestingly, I see that Instagram has a much better video than YouTube, or probably it's the phone which has much better video than laptop. So, anyways, all those things apart, feel free to start asking your questions, whatever they may be, and I will try my best to answer all your questions. So, yeah, bring it on. Happy to answer your questions about life, anything and everything about life. All right. So, yes, tell me, what should we talk about today? Should we talk about love, meditation, mental emotional problems, sense of purpose, overthinking, anxiety, or anything else? Death, God, success, habits, rituals. This session is to answer all your questions and confusions about life. So feel free to ask any question that you might want to ask, and I am more than happy to answer them all. All right, so here comes the first question from Aman. I hope you can hear me clearly, Aman. I'm wondering if you can hear me. Can you hear me clearly? Great. I hope you can hear me clearly. So is the volume high? Full? Did not check. Okay, guys, just hold on. I'm checking for people on Instagram if the volume is full. It can happen sometimes if the volume is not full. And it was not full. All right. Just a moment. Um, yes. And people on YouTube, I hope for you the volume is full. All right. Okay. So yeah, Shalini, you can also ask your question. And first question is by Amando. How to focus on our goals without distraction? Aman, to focus on your goals without distraction is not an easy task because life offers you so many distractions nowadays. Social media, phone calls, television, Netflix, Amazon Prime, OTT, newspapers, and I mean, we've just invited so many more possibilities of getting distracted into our life that it is difficult to not get distracted and just be laser focused on the goal. But I think if you really want to still ensure that you remain focused on the goal, then a very good thing you could do is every morning you remind yourself what is your goal in life, your goal for the day, for the week, for the month, or for the year. And at the end of the day, you review your day. And after reviewing your day, you honestly write down what did you do every hour. Like what did you do 10 to 11, 11 to 1, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. And you note down how did you spend your time. You would naturally know that if you've used your time in resonance with your goals or otherwise for worthless pursuits, right? And that is how you can track if you're getting distracted or you're remaining focused. If you're getting distracted, of course, you would realize that, and sooner or later, you would take corrective steps, won't you? And if you're not getting distracted, then great, you deserve an applause. Yeah. So to focus on your goals without distractions requires some sort of discipline of reminding yourself your goals every day, of reviewing your day at the end of the day, which is in the night hours, and of making corrective actions and steps wherever required. Also, try to eliminate as many distractions as possible. So, how I do that is I do not have any of the social media apps on my phone. Whenever required, I download them to answer questions or answer messages or reply to comments. But in my phone, I do not have an app. Right now, also, I'm using this Instagram Live through my wife's phone. So my account is logged into her phone and I rarely check it. But if it's in my phone, I know I would check it often. Yeah. So eliminate everything which can get you distracted, especially all the social media apps. That's an excellent way. Like they say in Hindi, na rahega baas na bajegi bansuri. So try doing that. And this can ensure that you remain more focused on the goal. Okay. I hope this answers, Aman. All right, Shalini, we can go ahead with your question. And thereafter, I think Manjari Gupta has a question. Manjari, it would be better if you can ask your question in the comment section rather than asking it on a video one-on-one chat. Because in the past, I've noticed that in the video chat, sometimes the video quality or sound quality is very poor. Yes, Shalini, go ahead. Tell me, Shalini, what question can I answer for you? Also, for those who've just joined, this is a live Q&A session. Feel free to ask any question you would like. All right, so here's the question by Shalini. Can animals also get enlightened? Shalini, no. Animals can never get enlightened. It's not possible. But I'm sure you would be confused with this answer. You would say, Nakul sir, how are you so sure about it? So firstly, try to understand what does the word enlightenment mean. The word enlightenment mean to be free from suffering. All right. And to know who you truly are. All right. Now, why do you experience suffering in life? And what is suffering? So there are two aspects of life. One is pain, another is suffering. Pain is either physical, wherein someone pinches you or you get a cut or a wound or something. So that heals with time, right? Or pain is psychological. Like if someone abuses you right now or, says something bad about you, then you would feel hurt. But that hurt logically should only stay for some time, like a few minutes or at the most a few hours. But you carry that pain in your mind and in your heart and in your body for a long, long time by reminding yourself of that same incident again and again. That he said this to me, he did this to me, or he did that to me, or I failed, or this or that. So you never let that pain go away with time. You keep regenerating the pain by reminding yourself of that incident. And because of that, you start creating pain and you start carrying forward that pain, right? This is called suffering, right? So, pain you cannot avoid, but suffering you can 100% avoid. Now, what happens is that nobody knows how to take charge of what happens in a mind. Nobody taught you how to take charge of your thoughts, how to take charge of your emotions, how to take charge of your reactions, your feelings, your behavior, and all those things. And interestingly, you do not even care to invest time, money, and efforts to really understand how your mind works and how you can take charge of your mind. You spend time and efforts to learn how to cook, how to eat, how to drive, how to code, how to do Excel sheets, how to do certain work. but you never spend time and energy to understand your own self. And this is why you are always trapped in suffering. So you want to get enlightened because you want to be free from all this suffering. Everything you call as a problem in your life, be it overthinking, anxiety, stress, relationship issues, ego issues, guilt, anger, being unable to sleep, anything and everything which you call as a problem is essentially a creation of your own mind. Unless and until you have a physical health issue. Yeah. And you can be free from all these problems only by understanding your own mind and eventually transcending your own mind. The day you're able to do that, you are enlightened because you're free from the entrapment, from the prison of your mind. And once you're free from the prison of your mind, because you've understood the mind and you've trained the mind, then you are absolutely at peace. You can also say that you're absolutely happy, but happiness is usually construed with a sense of always smiling. Now, even if you keep smiling always, your cheeks would pain, right? So, enlightenment doesn't give you happiness, it gives you a feeling of bliss. And bliss is a combination of beauty and peace. A beautiful state of peace, which is much more better than happiness and joy and laughter, is what you call as bliss. And once you attain enlightenment, you experience that deep inner bliss. All right. And you are forever free from suffering. You're not free from pain. You will still endure pain, but you're free from suffering in life. So, animals can never get enlightened because most animals never suffer. They just suffer pain, physical discomfort. That's it. But they don't have the emotional or psychological sort of suffering. Some do in case of pets who are attached to their landlords, their owners who are petting them, like dogs and cats and whatnot, birds. So, yes, they do suffer, but they have no way to understand their mind because they do not have a language. If they would have had a language, then I could have helped them to get enlightened too, provided they do what I asked them to do after understanding it. Right? But human beings have language. So through language, you can understand my own experience. Whatever I'm talking is I'm sharing my experience with you. Once you are able to make sense of it, then you try to explore it, experiment with it. And if you do it well enough, then you also succeed in it. Thus, it becomes your experience as well. And this is why only human beings can get enlightened, not any other species on the planet. All right. So I think I've given a fairly long answer. If you still have some doubt, let me know. You're saying our scriptures talk about an enlightened crow. Shalini, our scriptures talk about a lot of nonsense stuff as well. You need not believe everything written in the books as scriptures. Our scriptures also have a story called Mahabharata, in which the Kauravas were born out of eggs. Gandhari had 100 children at once. Do you think it's humanly possible for any woman to have 100 kids? They cannot have 100 kids even in a lifetime, but she had all of them at once. And that makes no sense, right? I mean, इंसान है कि मछली है जो अंडे से निकले, right? So scriptures talk about lot of things which is just fictional and imaginary. They have no correspondence with reality. So you need not believe everything said in the scriptures. All right. There could be someone's fantasies, someone's intention to pass on morals using some stories. There could be anything. Lot of Vedic stuff is also stupid, in fact. They talk about praying to the god of air, god of water, god of sky. Please give me a wife, please give me water, and all those things. Oh, come on. It was meant for those people who lived in the jungles, not for evolved people, right? So, although there are a lot of gems in our scriptures, there are a lot of wisdom in our scriptures of every religion, but there is also a lot of trash and crap. So please don't try to believe everything the scriptures say, be it whichever scripture of whichever country, whichever religion, it does not matter. All right. I hope you got your answer, Shalini. And I do not know who is Kaka Bhushandi. I think Kaka Bhushandi is some crow you're talking about. And I promise you, if there was such a crow, there's no chance that crow would have gotten enlightened. If you still wish to say, no, I'm sure, then okay, you're okay to believe anything. You're okay to believe it's daytime. You're okay to believe the sun does not go, the earth does not go around the sun, but the sun goes around the earth. If you're hell bent on believing something, then well, you're not a spiritual seeker. You are a blind believer. But a spiritual seeker always questions everything, tests it, experiments it, and if it stands true in their own experience, only then he or she believes it. All right. So now you have to make a choice whether you want to believe it or you really want to realize it, experience it, and see for yourself if it is true or not. All right. Okay. Next question is by Rinku. She's asking, what do you think about current school providing, and what is no school concept? So Rinku, I did not get your question correctly because there are some grammatical errors. But I think you are asking about what do I think about the current education system. So Rinku, I think the education system is undergoing a reform now. There is new education policy, and the new education policy has a lot of good things. But once it starts getting implemented, then we would come to know about what are the drawbacks and missing areas of it. All right. Schools still haven't implemented the new education policy completely. I think most have not even started implementing. Forget implementing it completely or even partially. So it will take, I think, probably a decade for the new education policy to be implemented. Once that happens, I think we would have a much, much better education system. In its current form, yes, I feel that a lot of it is something which is not relevant because it is based on testing someone's memory and not someone's intelligence, really. It does not encourage a child to ask questions. It encourages them to learn the answers to the questions given by the teacher and just to reproduce those answers. So someone who does a little effort of rote learning can, without understanding anything, score high marks. While on the other hand, someone who's really understood the concepts and is really thinking through them intelligently might end up failing because that person failed to remember and learn all those things. Right. So the current education system in no ways tests a person's intelligence. It only tests memories. And I think that's a very sad way of educating a child. Most of our education system, in my opinion, is a waste of time because we never use the concepts we learn in school. I do not remember using anything about geography or history or even Hindi, English. I think even trigonometry and algebra and so many things in life. I have used multiplication, addition, subtraction, the basic things. I have used English, and I think I might have learned a thing or two about some morals from some stories, perhaps. Civics also, I don't think I've understood from books. Civics I've understood from just day to day functioning in the society. What is civic sense? No child, I think, understands civics from books. So the current education system is a big waste of time for children, in my opinion. First, they end up wasting 8 hours in school. Then they end up wasting some more 2 to 4 hours in coaching classes. They are practically ending up wasting their 20, 21, or even 24, 25 years in learning something which they never really understand or apply in their own life. So you are, in a way, taking away a person's one third life because the average age, even if it's 70, I mean, assuming it's 70, 75, and you spend 25 years uh, in most of the hours of 25 years in reading or going through something which you never use in your life, then you've not made use of those years. You've wasted those years. It would have been better if you would have learned yoga. You would have learned how to take charge of your thoughts, feelings, emotions. You would have learned about relationships. You would have learned about probably healing yourself through some Ayurveda or acupuncture, you would have learned about cooking, you would have learned about growing your own food. I mean, you could have learned 100 different things which you could have actually used in your life versus the things which you learn but never use in your life. Yeah. So I think the current education system misses out in a big way. But I hope that change comes soon enough. The new education policies recommendations are implemented soon enough, and we can see a new education system and thus a better society. We as an organization are doing a lot of work. We cater to children in municipal schools and orphanages and basically government schools, wherein every week we conduct sessions on social emotional learning, basically holistic well-being, and we educate them about meditation, about mastering their thoughts, emotions, relationships, values, ethics, purpose, yoga, pranayam, good touch, bad touch. So we educate children about a lot of things in a very experiential way, which we think is absolutely necessary for a human being to live a happy and meaningful life. So I hope that it becomes a part of the system someday. Until then, we'll keep doing our best to cater to and impact as many lives as we practically can. If you too feel interested in this, then join us, volunteer with us, and be a part of something miraculous and absolutely transformative. Yeah. You all are invited, friends, to volunteer with us and learn something which will change your life forever, as well as the lives of those whom you teach once a week, just for 1.5 hours. All right. Okay. Um. All right. I do not know what is no school concept. I think nowadays there's a concept of homeschooling, wherein parents are saying that, hey, we don't believe anything works out in the education system, so we might as well educate our children at home. So basically, a few parents get together and they bring their children together and they start teaching them the subjects they think are important to their children together. Like a particular mother is teaching mathematics to all the children, one particular mother or a father is teaching English to all of them, right? And they do it depending on the child's need and curiosity and level of intelligence, and not like they have to rush through a curriculum. And once the child reaches 10th grade, then they also give an examination through open school, wherein they make the child study all the subjects required for a year. So the child basically has the degree of having passed 10th grade and is eligible to take admission in 11th and 12th and the basic education system anywhere. But until then, all the 15 years of his life, the child gets an education atmosphere curated by the parents. So basically, they have much more freedom in educating the child. They make him join some online classes, they make him join or her join sports and music and such recreational things. They take them on travel trips across the country and they make them learn through experiences. They encourage them to read books, to Google stuff. So they basically encourage the child to learn through using their own curiosity and their own critical thinking. And of course, they support the process. And it's not just one child doing alone, it's usually a group of parents who do it together. They might be doing it at their own home, but they also meet once a week or twice a week so as to discuss what else can be done and what not. So it's a very interesting concept. I do not know how really effective it is because it depends on how educated and how competent the parents are to really, make their children understand the world and the important concepts of the world, grammar, mathematics, science, all those things. But if they are really smart and competent and thoughtful, I think they'll do a much better job than a typical school, for sure. Yeah. But they need to be invested in the child. They need to take the child for sports, for swimming, for music, for all those meeting with other children, teaching together. So it requires a lot of commitment, which sadly today's parents do not have. I mean, fathers have always been working, and nowadays mothers are also either working or they are too busy in doing some business or gossip or OTT or whatnot. They only know. But if they are not working and they're really interested in the child's development, then they should gather other mothers together and try doing something. It's a good thing. Yeah. Okay. 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 So I have a question. Uh, I hope it's answered for you. There's so many more questions. I'm finding it difficult to answer. And there is also someone like Shalini who's trying to be filthy and who's trying to do some abuses on the session, and she's probably getting an ego kick after doing that. So Shalini, congratulations to do for you. I think you should have better things to do and make use of your time. If you are so free that you are joining a live session, asking your questions, and then passing all these slangs and abusive comments, then well, really need to find some sort of purpose in life, and you really need to do something meaningful in life. You will never be able to offend me through these comments. So go ahead, try your luck. All the best to you. I wish you well. I'll either ways go on with my question answers. All right. I wish you some wisdom and some peace and clarity. All right. Okay, I have a question from my Vinit, which is Vineet. He's saying, what do you think is happening in the world? Wars and upheaval everywhere. Where are we heading? Especially in our neighborhood, I'm concerned about that. All right. So I would say that, see, I mean, the world has always been in a state of turmoil, Vineet. We thought after making the United Nations and stuff that wars will end, but until human ego is addressed, wars would never end in this world. Right? As long as people are attached to their sense of identity and ego, they'll go on taking steps to feel bigger, feel powerful, feel stronger, and thus attack those who are weaker than them. And those who are not even under threat would always keep feeling a sense of threat, and thus take on steps to enhance their defenses or attack in saying I'm trying to defend myself, but actually they are getting offensive. So it's actually the human ego playing out in the world, nothing else. And human ego has always played out in the world. Ever since the mankind has occurred on this planet, ego has always ruled them. Earlier there were tribes warring with each other, then there were kingdoms, now there are countries. I mean, wars would never ever end. Never ever end. I'm telling you. Because human ego will always come into the picture. There would be someone who has a lot of ambition and would say, I want Akhand Bharat, so I want to bring Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan a part of me. There would be someone who would say, I want a bigger Akhand Russia, and they would want other countries to become a part of the Russian thing again. Basically, it's about human ego. You always want to feel bigger, you always want to have more and more, and your greed has no end. Hence, people will go on trying to attack others. People will go on trying to, hoard more. They will go on trying to accumulate, buy, and consume more. And all these decisions are what are eventually going to destroy the planet, mankind, and all of life. All the scientists, all the conscious people are warning about it time and again that we are consuming far more than our planet can produce. Global warming has reached its peak. Ice is melting. Every year, close to 50 animal species are getting extinct. So it's high time we take some corrective actions. But sadly, the people who talk about such things do not have the power and the resources to make some substantive, achievements or progress. And even those who might have, I mean, what would a lone wolf do in the jungle, right? So, hence, making people more conscious, more self aware, helping people become aware of their role in the society, in the world, and the effect of their actions on the planet, on the species, is absolutely necessary. Otherwise, you cannot expect them to act consciously and to take and to make choices which are not just taken considering their own well-being, but the well-being of every life form on the planet today and in times to come. And that can only happen through education, my friend. Yeah. So A, we can do this through the schooling and education system, which I'm really trying to do in a big way through our work at Renovatio Foundation. I really endeavor that we bring this awareness, knowledge, clarity, and consciousness to most children, as many children as we can. And secondly, also with youth and adults, right? It has to be, I mean, it has to be a mass movement where more people become aware, alert, and conscious of the ramifications of their actions. I think only then can we have a world where there is some sort of peace. Unless there is peace within Vineet, there can never ever be peace without. A person who is at war with himself is usually at war with everyone else in the world. A person who has conflict within himself or herself always tries to create conflict with everyone else. And we have one such example in this session as well. I mean, you can see this lady or girl, Shalini. I mean, she's come joining a random live session and hurling abuses and whatnot, right? Criticism. What does it mean? It simply means that she has a lot of conflict in herself. She's in some sort of pain. She's in anguish. And because she did not get validation to her question, then she's trying to attack me, isn't it? I mean, so people like Shalini are the ones who are causing war in the world. And such people are everywhere. I'm not saying that Shalini is just one such person. I would say 95% or 90% of the people are like that, right? And that is because they're not at peace with themselves. It is not her fault, not at all. Nobody taught her to understand her thoughts, her emotions, to be at peace with herself. And hence, it's just a reflection of her inner state, right? The day she joins some sessions, does some of her practices, experiences some inner peace, she would naturally never ever behave in such fashion with anyone in her home, in a friend circle, in a neighborhood, or in the world at large. So we need to help people become more evolved and self-aware. Unless there is, I mean, a movement which creates inner awakening, we cannot expect peace and outer awakening in the world. Yeah. So I hope you get that and it makes sense to you, right? All right. Yeah, and someone says that this lady Shalini Rish is actually some guy named Shaurya. Wow, amazing. All right. So wow, awesome. I know Vineet, such people do not have the courage to comment from their own original profile. If they would have had the courage to do that, then they wouldn't be the person they are, right? That's okay. Let them do it. It seems to be someone Shaurya. Shaurya, all the best to you. All right. And you can only give me more smile. All right. So I'll end the session over here. It's 9:40. Usually session ends at 9:30, and I have a meeting to do regarding an education project, which might go until 12 o'clock. All right. So I'll see all of you tomorrow, or I mean, I think Wednesday only now. I was planning to do one more session tomorrow, but I might not be able to do that. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining again in one more Wisdom Wednesday session. I'm so glad you asked your questions, you heard my answers, and I hope that my perspectives have helped you in some way or the other to find some more clarity and peace in yourself and your life. All right. And with this, thank you so much for giving me your precious time. See you again next Wednesday, answering some more questions and probably also taking you through a guided meditation if we find some time. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Have a good week. Please take care. Thank you. I'm glad, Vineet, you find it as a great energy lift. Thank you.